Hello, this is Phyllis Wilson. I'm coming to you today to talk to you briefly about, for my daily moments at least, for right now. And I'll say that. But I'm coming to you to talk to you today about new growth. How about that? New growth. And I guess I could call it that because it came to me as I was cutting my grass outside, and my grass had grown so tall because here in Illinois it has rained so much, and we've had so much thunderstorms, and we just had a tornado Tuesday. But at any rate, as I was cutting the grass, it dawned on me that everything grows at some point, no matter what the growth sparks from. It could be a growth in your career, a growth in your marriage, a growth with your children. It could be growth with wisdom and knowledge. It could be growth definitely with nature. Because yes, there are seasons that change, and there are leaves that fall off trees and off plants and flowers and so forth. The petals fall off and all of that when it's the right time. But even the grass grows, and the grass had grown so tall in my yard, my backyard anyway, to the point that I felt like I needed to take one of those hacksaws, I guess you would call it, or one of those cleavers, and just walk through the backyard and just cut down, swing my arm and cut down the grass as much as I could, and then take the lawnmower to it. But that didn't happen. Coincidentally enough, it had rained 2 days before I cut the grass, but on the surface, the grass looked dry. As I cut the grass down the lawnmower, because I have an electric lawnmower, it kept cutting off, cutting off, cutting off, because underneath the surface, it was moisture and wet. And like I said, it's an electric lawnmower, so it cut off. But my point to it is this: things that look like it has grown and it looks like it is dry, underneath the surface, it's not. It's really moisturized. It's refreshed. It is restored and renewed, because growth is still happening even when you can't see it. So as I cut it down and cut the grass down, the top was green. It's grass. It was green, but it wasn't a bright green. But once I cut underneath and got off of looking at the surface, because I had cut it down so much, when I got to the root, or to the very low point of the grass, it was this beautiful bright green, that it was breathtaking how green this grass was at the time. Why? Because the growth that was on top was hiding the growth that was happening underneath. So once I cut down the growth on top, all the growth underneath was able to really show its true potential of still having growth inside of it. So I wanted to share with you today that some things may not look like it's growing, or like it's doing any progressing or anything on the surface. And in actuality, it truly is. The thing that you have to realize or recognize is, how much growth do you want it to have? Because some things that have grown and elevated, sometimes you need to clear some way for the new growth. Even with our hair grows because the follicles are healthy. Or once we need to do with moisturizer and so forth to get our follicles growing, to be able to branch forward and stem forward, then yes, new growth happens. And in order for it to gain length on our hair, at some point we need to cut off some split ends. We need to trim the things that's stopping the growth that's happening underneath or at the base. We need to cut off some of the things that are stopping that growth from springing forth. So in saying that, the potential of growth is always there, is really what my message is to you today. Potential of growth is always there. It's up to you to decide when you want to allow the growth to happen, so that others can see the growth, or even you to see it and experience the growth. Because yes, you may have a successful business, and thank you to all my subscribers. You may have a successful business, or you may see that your startup business is now starting to gain some momentum, some customers, some clients are coming forth, but you see a bigger picture for your business. But if you're only thinking on a lower level of growth and potential for your business, you'll never let the true potential of its growth shine, spring forth, and grow. So some things that are on this lower level when you're at the starting point of your business, your venture, that manuscript, some things that you just let stay kind of in the low phase, really meant to be higher up or to be elevated higher, you now need to look at and evaluate, or you should evaluate where you are and what is it that's not working or that's hindering or covering up your growth for you to be able to get higher. So today, or when you see this video, even if it's not today, the same day that I'm recording it and releasing it, but whenever you see this video and you know somebody who's doing that, where it's green, which the color green represents growth and development. For those who know I'm into colors and what color, the meaning of colors mean, green is growth and development. So if you see something that's green, but you know that there is more greenery or brighter green or more healthier color green that's underneath what you can physically see now, please share this video with someone that it could help. Please share with someone who can have an aha moment potentially and be able to use it to help them in their growth. Because maybe they just need to hear that message that some things need to be moved out of the way so that more growth can shine and be seen by you and others and experienced by you and others. Because growth is always happening. You just may not see it because you can't see the surface of where the growth is happening or the root. Because even trees never reaches full height potential because the root at the trunk and the base of it is constantly growing, and it's growing underground where it's covered up by the dirt, the soil, the moisture, and everything else. So you can't truly see how healthy a tree is or the growth that's happening underneath the tree from the roots because the roots are hidden. Some of you, your roots are hidden, but you can see some growth springing forward. So my call to you today, my call to action for you today is to look at and evaluate the growth that you are on now and the potential of the growth that you can be or it could reach, whatever your it is, business, finances, knowledge because you're in school, degrees, or whatever the case may be with you with growth, where you know that there's more growth in you, there's more growth around you. I admonish you to take the time because it would be such an injustice if you did not. Until next time, keep in mind that growth is always happening, whether you can see it or not.